The honorary degree will now be conferred, and it is my pleasure to present the honorary degree candidate, Dr. John Willinsky. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to present Dr. John Willinsky, former Pacific Press Professor of Literacy and Technology at the University of British Columbia, now Kosler Family Professor of Education at Stanford University, and Distinguished University Scholar at UBC. Possessed of a quick and subtle mind, John Willinsky is a consummate educator, one whose classroom extends to the public arena. There he challenges our assumptions about the nature of knowledge, its production, control, and accessibility in this digital age. For John Willinsky, education is not about pursuing utopian ideals. It is about working with students on projects that matter. And for more than 3 decades, beginning with his years as a secondary school teacher until this time, he has done just that. His research interests range across disciplines such as language, literacy, information science, communications, cultural studies, and sociology. A prolific scholar, he has authored numerous articles and several award-winning and highly influential books, including Empire of Words, The Reign of the OED, Learning to Divide the World, Education at Empire's End, and The Access Principle, The Case for Open Access in Research and Scholarship. Perhaps the pinnacle of his achievement to date is the Public Knowledge Project, which offers electronic publishing tools and expert systems now used by people around the world to share academic and non-academic information. A partnership among the Faculty of Education at UBC, the School of Education at Stanford University, and the Simon Fraser University Library, together with our Canadian Centre for Studies in Publishing, is a truly groundbreaking initiative, one that champions innovative knowledge mobilization worldwide. And we are proud to be part of John Willinsky's vision, which enhances our reputation as an institution dedicated to the sharing of knowledge. He has received many honors and awards, including outstanding book awards from both the History of Education Society and the American Educational Association. He is a Fellow of the Royal Society of Canada, and today we pay tribute to him for his seminal work as a critical theorist and for his passionate engagement in educational and social issues. John Willinsky, by virtue of the authority vested in me and in the Senate of the University, I hereby admit you to the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa. Dr. Willinsky will be hooded by the Associate Vice President Academic, Dr. Bill Crane, and Ms. Kate Ross, the Registrar. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
It is with pleasure that I now call on Dr. John Willinsky for his convocation address. Dr. Willinsky.
Mr. President, honored guests, graduands, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you won't mind if I give this talk without my hat on. I'm still a bit awkward with it, but it is a pleasure to be here, and I want to begin by congratulating the graduates in science and in education. Actually, I'm not sure which is which, but I congratulate you both, and the families that are here. It is indeed an honor to participate in this event. This is probably the most magnificent of convocation halls I've ever stepped into. And I hope that I can present to you a little bit of insight into the work that I do and provide something of a commencement address in terms of the steps that you're about to take. I want to commend Simon Fraser University, as earnest as it is young, in its efforts to squeeze into your education one last lesson, however brief, before you cross the stage and enter the world beyond, or should I say below, this lofty campus. You can relax, however, as this assignment, the assignment behind this lesson is all mine. I need only deliver one of life's enduring and inspiring lessons, as I was carefully instructed, for approximately 5 minutes. You'll be further relieved to know. And as a result, you will cross this stage of your life fully prepared to go forward, as if to stamp paid on the university motto that appears on your degree. Nous sommes prêts. I happen to have one here. We are ready. I have to smile. I've only 4 minutes left to remove any lingering doubts that may remain among you as to whether you are really ready. Do you really know enough? Are you really able to board that bus or bike down the mountain properly equipped and ready for all that is to follow? Well, the truth is that I'm not sure I'm entirely ready. After all, I've searched my soul thoroughly, and I have emerged empty-handed when it comes to that proverbial 5-minute lesson about the meaning of life. Rather than possessing great and mighty truths, I seem to have favored projects. The truth is, I do projects, not proverbs. And I stand before you today in part because of a project. I have a project underway with Simon University Library and with the Canadian Centre for Studies in Publishing. And while I have not been a student of, nor worked at SFU, I have had the privilege of working with this wonderful library very closely over the last 5 years. Our work together has been very much focused on this question of whether we are ready, or rather, we'll continue to be ready when it comes to learning. Our project has been directed at remedying one of education's little tragedies in terms of our very readiness. Let me explain with a question. How many of you, the students I'm speaking to now, how many of you have your library card with you today? Don't be ashamed. My plan was that I would greet you as you cross the stage with a large pair of scissors, and that I would ceremoniously cut up your library card as you cross that stage, at least those of you who have paid up your fines, because in effect, this is what happens to students crossing this stage and crossing stages around the world. You will, I can assure you, still have some access to this library after graduation. You can, for example, motor back up this mountain and borrow books. You can log on at home and access some 800 journals, as well as, apparently, a database on medieval travel. I did do my homework for this assignment. Yet you retain access to a very small portion, perhaps 2% in journals alone, of all that this library has to offer. Up to now, you've been able to access all of this information at home, on your desktop, on your laptop, and on your smartphone. And now to be cut off from so much learning raises the question, then, of whether you really are ready for all that is to follow, for all of the challenges that this world will pose. Now, my project with SFU Library has been to try to remedy this situation. SFU Library and I, along with a number of other committed librarians and professors around the world, are exploring new ways of making all of the research and scholarship in this and every research library available to everyone online. The idea of open access to knowledge is based on an idea of the human right to know what others have learned on our behalf. It is a right to learn as much as one might possibly want to of what research and scholarship have discovered about the world. This right applies, of course, not only to SFU graduates. Human rights are unearned, much like this unearned but much appreciated degree that I received this afternoon. Now, to date, this project has managed to open access to only a portion, perhaps 1/4 of the research that is done each year. That is, 1/4 of what researchers and scholars learn each year is now freely and openly available to everyone who has access to the internet. To have ready and free access to 1/4 of what we know may not ready you all that much to take care of the world's challenges, but it is still a very important start in pursuit of this goal. And I very much need your help and the help of your families in increasing the amount of knowledge that is available in this open way. So let's put away that idea about cutting up your library cards. This is a day to celebrate and not to speak about loss. Instead, I ask that when you cross the stage, that you embrace this sense of being ready. You are ready. Ready thanks to this university to continue to learn and to learn in ways that benefit others in this world. Of course, you would be even more ready, I am suggesting, if you were able to go on pursuing this learning openly and freely after you graduate. You would be ready, that is, to look things up, to check your assumptions, to see what has been learned in ways that may serve you and others, whether in your work, for your families, or out of a basic human curiosity about this world. So yes, rather than imparting a pithy proverb about what is most important in life, I am instead shamelessly recruiting you to support this project of access to learning and to knowledge. I am asking that you carry forward from your time at this institution a strong and enduring sense of this right to know. If you and your families begin to regard this right as a human right, if you expect to have access to what is known, then it will be that much easier to convince my colleagues here and elsewhere of the importance of taking the proven and existing steps to make more of this knowledge available. I ask no more of you than that you are ready to exercise this right to know. Then surely nous sommes prêts. On this fine day, each of you deserves to be commended for what you have already learned and for how ready you are now to go on learning, especially as that learning may be in the service of others. I have greatly appreciated this opportunity to address you, however briefly, on such an important day in your lives. It has indeed been an honor, and I offer you and your families my very best wishes on this proud day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Willinsky.